Last week, we talked about the operational disaster of promoting your absolute best employee. You give your top producer a management title. They fail, and you lose your best worker. But the takeaway wasn't to stop promoting from within. Promoting from within is exactly what you should be doing. You just have to build a system that actually prepares them for the job. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, and wherever you happen to be right now. I'm Mike Voories, here to help you build a stronger team. Today, we're tackling the solution to the promotion trap. We're talking about how to build a real intentional promotion pipeline. When you have an empty management seat, you shouldn't have to panic. You shouldn't have to just point to the person with the highest sales numbers or the fastest route times and hope they can figure it out. You need a pipeline. You need a deliberate process to identify, vet, and train future leaders long before you actually need them. So let's break down exactly how you build that pipeline so you can elevate your best people without breaking your business. First, we want to define the raw materials of a leader. If you want to build a promotion pipeline, you have to completely change what you're looking for. Technical mastery is not leadership potential. You must separate the two in your mind. Stop looking at your production leaderboard. Start looking at behavior. If you're looking for the raw materials of leadership, these are traits that are incredibly difficult to teach, but absolutely necessary to manage people. So who on your team naturally helps others? When a new hire is struggling, who steps in to show them the ropes without being asked? Who stays calm when a truck breaks down, a piece of equipment fails, or a client yells? Who takes responsibility for a mistake instead of pointing fingers at the rest of the crew? These are your future leaders. They might be your absolute best producer, but more often than not, they're your second or third best producer. They might not be the absolute fastest with a tool in their hands, but they're organized, they communicate clearly, and they have high emotional intelligence. You can teach a good leader the technical details of a job. However, it's nearly impossible to teach a technical genius how to have patience and emotional intelligence. Define the behaviors you need in a manager and start watching your team to see who actually displays them. Next, stop guessing and start measuring. Gut instinct is a terrible way to promote people. We rely heavily on our gut because we like our top performers. We trust them. We want to reward them. But liking someone does not mean they're wired to lead a team. When you rely solely on your gut, you're just guessing. And when you guess wrong, you destroy your entire team's morale. You need objective data. You need to use tools like the DISC assessment to understand exactly how a potential manager is wired. DISC measures behavior. It tells you how a person communicates, how they handle stress, and how they deal with conflict. And this is critical information. Let's say your top candidate is a very high D on the DISC profile. So they're dominant, direct, driven by results. That's why they are a great producer. But as a manager, that high D might steamroll their team. They might lack the patience to coach someone who's struggling. They might even resort to micromanagement. Or maybe your candidate is a high S, so they're stable, steady, and everyone loves them. They're a great team player, but as a manager, that high S might avoid conflict at all costs. They might refuse to hold people accountable because they want to keep the peace. Using an assessment does not mean you disqualify these people. It means you go into the promotion with your eyes wide open. You know exactly where they're going to struggle. You know exactly what you need to coach them on. You remove the guesswork and replace it with a measurable plan. You want to test the waters before the title, right? Never make the jump from an individual contributor to a manager overnight. It's just too big of a leap. You need to de-risk the promotion. You need to create a trial period. Before you hand someone a new title and a bump in pay, give them a taste of leadership. Put them in charge of training a brand new hire for 2 weeks. Give them a small specific project to manage and let them maybe lead the morning huddle, right? Something like that. Then watch exactly what they do. Do they actually teach the new hire, or do they just get frustrated and take the tool out of their hands and do the work themselves? Do they communicate the project goals clearly, or do they just assume everyone knows what's going on? Do they handle questions with respect, or do they get defensive? This trial period protects your business and it protects the employee, right? If they fail the test, it's a safe failure. You can pull them aside and have an honest conversation. You can tell them that they're an incredible asset to the team, but they're just not quite ready for management yet. Then they go back to being a great producer. You save them from burnout and you saved your team from a bad boss. If they pass the test, you know you have hard proof that they can handle the responsibility. They've earned the next step in the pipeline. Next, you must onboard your managers. This is one of the most critical steps, and this is where almost every single company drops the ball. Think about your standard hiring process. When you bring in a brand new entry-level employee, you're going to train them. You spend weeks showing them how to use your software, how to operate equipment safely, and how to follow your processes. But what about when you promote your best worker to a management role? What do? You shake their hand, you give them a laptop, you say congratulations, keep up the good work. And this is operational negligence. Management is completely different. It's a different profession than doing the work. It's a trade. And just like any trade, it must be taught. You do not have an onboarding problem for just entry-level hires. You have an onboarding problem for your managers. You must actively train them. You need to teach them how to run a one-on-one meeting. You need to teach them how to give constructive feedback without crushing someone's spirit. You need to teach them how to handle conflict. You need to train them on how to hold people accountable. You cannot expect someone to learn these skills through osmosis. You have to provide a framework. If you're not actively training your frontline leaders on how to actually lead, you're setting them up to fail. So let's dig into the leadership failure a little. At BR1, we see the results of broken promotion systems, seemingly every day. When a manager fails, it's very rarely the manager's fault. It's a leadership issue. It's your fault. You failed to identify the right traits. You failed to use objective data to vet them. You failed to give them a trial run, and you completely failed to train them for their new job. And when you get this wrong, the damage is severe. Bad managers actively drive your good people away. Your solid, reliable, middle-of-the-pack employees will start looking for the door. Your culture will fracture. Your recruiting will get infinitely harder because nobody wants to work for a bad boss. But when you get this right, everything changes. When you build a real promotion pipeline, you create a culture of growth. Your people see that hard work and right attitude actually leads to advancement. Turnover drops, morale rises, and you stop panicking when a management seat opens up because you already have 3 people trained and ready to step in. Strong cultures are built by strong leaders, and strong leaders are built intentionally. So take action for your team. If you're looking at your management team right now and realizing you never actually taught them how to manage, you need to act. Stop letting them struggle. Stop letting poor leadership damage your retention. You need a system to identify, vet, and train your leaders. At BR1, this is exactly what we do. We help business owners and leaders implement objective tools like DISC to find the right people. Whether you're building internal bench strength or recruiting from outside the organization, we can help. We know how to help you put the right leaders in the right seats. We help you fix the root cause of your operational headaches so you can stop putting out fires and start growing your business. So if you're ready to stop panic promoting and start building a real leadership pipeline, reach out to us. Go to businessresources1.com. Let's talk about your team and how we can support your growth. You'll find a link right there in the description to connect with us. And until next time, keep building your stronger team.